facing charges of assault. We have the story.
NASA announces its new innovations to combat the future of wildfires.
And if you're looking to go to the fair this weekend but aren't vaxxed, ntTV's Madison McFarland has a sweet deal for you.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV Nightly News.
Thanks for joining us on ntTV Nightly News. I'm Andrew Fancher.
And I'm Michaela Goose. A UNT wide receiver is under investigation following a domestic dispute. ntTV sports anchor Sebastian Nava has more. Sebastian?
As of last night, UNT wide receiver Deontay Simpson has been dismissed from the UNT football team due to his arrest last night. Police were sent to the 3200 block of Heritage Trail after a call for a domestic disturbance. According to police, Simpson struck a woman he was in a relationship with. She was taken to the hospital with multiple injuries, none of them life-threatening. Simpson was booked into Denton City Jail at 8:37 last night, has been charged with assault causing bodily injury to a family member, which carries a possible sentence of up to 20 years in jail. We will keep you updated as more information becomes available.
Unfortunately, these events don't just happen in Denton, but all over the country. October is National Domestic Violence Awareness Month that has been providing support for over 30 years. And UNT's police department has a message for anyone who has been affected by domestic violence.
So my biggest thing is to seek resources and to seek help. Of course, I want them to come and report it to us because that, we can, hopefully we can help them. But if they're not comfortable coming and talking to police, find other resources. So if they're a UNT student, I definitely suggest a survivor advocate.
TV's Camille Ryan is at UNT's police station with more.
Thanks, Andy. Yes, October is National Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and UNT's police department has shared some helpful tips for all victims of domestic violence and survivors.
I think that reaching out for those resources is a big step. Obviously, for them to do it at their own pace. I don't want them to feel rushed, like they have to come and report it to us, or that they have to go and talk to the survivor advocate, or they have to do anything. Obviously, to do it, this is their journey, and so to do it as they feel comfortable. But I do suggest, reaching out for those resources.
UNT's police department showed their support at a UNT-led campus event on Monday to bring awareness to domestic violence. UNT has several resources when it comes to these issues. UNT Survivor Advocate Organization provides support to students who have been affected by violence, trauma, and/or harassment. The Denton County Friends of the Family organization also has a 24-hour crisis line for those who need services immediately. Contact Survivor Advocate at unt.edu or call 940-565-2648. That's all I have. Andy and Michaela, back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Camille. The weather made a dramatic turn in the past 24 hours, right, Andy?
That's right, Michaela, and North Texas is finally getting that rain.
Yes.
It began Sunday night with a downpour, and then we had a break. But last night and all day today, it came down in a fine fashion. But what makes this precipitation even more unusual is where it's coming from. Let's go to weather anchor Jasmine Carilla for an explanation. Jasmine?
Well, Andrew, unusual it is indeed. A cold front is coming to North Texas, bringing rainfall and thunderstorms, as indicated right here on this map in this blue sector. Hurricane Pamela is settled right at the Mexican coast, as you can see down here. Indicated in the green areas is rainfall. This will move more northbound, and this red area across central and North Texas indicates a flash flood warning. If you're wondering why the weather is so gloomy, I have the answer. Hurricane Pamela, which made landfall along the west coast of Mexico, is bringing extra moisture to the atmosphere. This increases the heavy rainfall and flooding threat. Now, a flood watch is in place for most of North Texas. So, let's take a look and see how this is affecting the weather this evening and into tomorrow. Hopping right into your first look right here, we're sitting at a nice cool 68 degrees with rain actively happening as we speak, and it's feeling a little cooler with it sitting right at 67 degrees. Going into our wind speed, we are 25 miles per hour southbound. Getting into tonight's conditions, those temperatures are very consistent. As you can see, the temperatures are staying just the same. Our wind speeds do go down to 15 miles per hour northbound. Getting into tomorrow's conditions, those thunderstorms are carrying into the next day, with it a little warmer, sitting at 79 degrees, feeling just as such, and 20 mile per hour wind speeds eastbound. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Jasmine. We have all seen the devastating results of climate change in the form of massive forest fires, hurricanes, flooding, and other weather events. Now NASA, instead of monitoring space flights, is taking on a new mission, monitoring wildfires and their impact on the environment.
Shift over 10 years in the making comes at a pivotal time for NASA as climate change redefines its mission and transition to commercialization. The agency's top two administrators, Bill Nelson, who conducted experiments aboard the space shuttle, and former astronaut Pam Milroy, believe NASA will make a difference in monitoring wildfires and managing response.
What people don't realize is that NASA is the eyes in the sky right now. The satellites that we have on orbit looking at the Earth 24/7 are giving us the information that decision makers need about the changes in our planet.
Aerial response has become critical as wildfires can explode by thousands of acres quickly. But as more aircraft and drones launch, NASA is trying to address the need for better air and ground traffic control systems, even when GPS or internet is lost. Congresswoman Anna Eshoo, who represents Silicon Valley, reacted to the briefing.
This demonstration here and what's being worked on with the U.S. Fire Service, with CAL FIRE, is nothing short of extraordinary.
NASA hardware and software are also monitoring drought as part of its climate change mission. If you're also an airline passenger, there's other good news coming out of NASA Ames. Have you ever been stuck on an airplane at the gate waiting to depart? NASA Ames showed off a ramp control tower simulator that manages aircraft gate departures so they don't end up burning fuel and generating emissions. It's designed to keep aircraft in motion, not idle.
Pushed back from the gate, onto the ramp, onto the taxiway, at the end of the runway, take off, not stopping. Think how much fuel you've saved.
It's a new NASA for which moonshot projects have a climate change focus. At NASA Ames, David Louie, ABC 7 News.
5, 4, command engine start. 2, 1.
What you are watching now is Hollywood's beloved William Shatner blasting off into space. That's right, folks, Captain Kirk is back in space. The 90-year-old actor had the chance to board a rocket on Wednesday, courtesy of Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin company. The rocket soared over the West Texas desert and rose to an altitude of 66.5 miles. The flight lasted about 10 minutes before Shatner and his 3 crewmates returned to Earth safely. The crew celebrated the event with Bezos himself once they reached the ground. The actor is now the oldest person to ride a rocket. Coming up, UNT bridges a gap with the People's Republic of China.
And we've got some Texas-sized deals to combat the virus. Have you ever wondered how the U.S.-China relationship affects you and the future of our country?
Well, UNT is hosting a live stream discussing the future of both countries. ntTV's Taylor Davis has more on the story.
Thanks, Michaela and Andrew. On Tuesday, October 19th, UNT will be hosting a live stream event of Chinatown Hall, hosted by Fareed Zakari. Professor Harold Tanner will be moderating a discussion at UNT. The event will be held on campus in the General Academic Building from 6 to 8 p.m. While the event is free and open to the public, seating is on a first-come, first-served basis. The conversation will be based on the U.S.-China relationship and how it affects our cities, towns, and communities. Professor Tanner states that this conversation is important because of the increasing competition for global power. That's all I have for you, and I hope to see students at the discussion next Tuesday. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Taylor. As we return to a sense of normalcy, America prepares to reopen its borders with Canada and Mexico. Additionally, the U.S. will be easing travel restrictions for vaccinated foreign tourists starting in early November. CNN's Chris Wynn has the details.
More progress on the COVID-19 front as America prepares to reopen its borders with Canada and Mexico to fully vaccinated visitors.
It's important news for our country, for our economy.
Starting in early November, inbound foreign travelers by land and ferry will be able to visit for non-essential reasons. The United States now set to welcome tourists and separated family members who have been shut out of the country since March of 2020, returning a sense of normality.
There have been many meetings with the goal of achieving the reopening of the border, and at the same time we decided to vaccinate in the border areas to help bring about this agreement.
The decision by the Biden administration marks a new phase in the recovery from the pandemic following guidance by the CDC. Communities along America's northern and southern borders already looking forward to a much-needed economic boost.
We are trading partners, we are friends, and for the first time in 19 months, we are going to be reunited to generate all that economic activity again.
The U.S. also plans to lift a similar restriction on travelers from overseas in January, a ban that has impacted thousands of people to all inbound foreign nationals.
We want to get to that fully reopened state as quickly as we responsibly can, but it's always first going to be guided by doing what's right to beat this pandemic.
In Washington, I'm Chris Wynn.
If you're looking to earn some free tickets at the State Fair, then you're just in luck. All it involves is getting your vaccine. Madison McFarland has more on how you can earn some free fair food.
If you guys are planning on traveling out of the country anytime soon, you will need proof of vaccination. The State Fair of Texas is offering vaccines on site and will provide $20 in fair coupons for those who do get the shot. The vaccination tent is located immediately behind Big Tex, and both Moderna and Pfizer shots will be available for any Dallas County resident. So if you're looking to get your vaccine and are a resident of Dallas County, make sure to head out to the State Fair so you can enjoy some free food and rides. Now, there are many great things about the State Fair, from the food, concerts, and shows, and one of those is very unusual. ntTV's Nomi Sanchez has an inside look at something that will amaze you with its magic. Take a look.
Well, it's State Fair season, and a show you cannot miss this year is one that brings to life Latin culture with over 100 puppets called Fiesta De Marionettas.
Located right in the middle of Fair Park, a beautiful combination of art and culture come together to bring audiences at the State Fair of Texas a touch of Latin heritage.
Fiesta De Marionettas, first and foremost, it's a puppet show, and the puppets are string puppets, marionettes, puppets on strings, and they're all handmade. And the show was commissioned by the State Fair for the 2019 year, and that was to feature Latin American heritage, Hispanic heritage.
What makes this show even more special is the variety of characters that are featured within every performance, turning this small stage into a celebration of diversity.
We do have mariachis, we have folklorico dancers, we have dancing flowers, we have piñatas, living piñatas, puppet piñatas, but we also have some celebrities. So we have some celebrity luchadores. We have Selena. I'll go ahead and give that away. She's a pretty big crowd pleaser.
Apart from the many traditional characters featured, a lot of detail goes into making these intricate puppets. From the designing to the painting and even the costume creation, it takes months and many different artists to complete even a single character.
Well, they're special because they are all one of a kinds. We make everything ourselves. They're all designed, the set, all the puppets are designed and built by the same artist. It takes months, and it takes several different artists and a variety of materials. We use Texas basswood. We use deep sea fishing line. It breaks all the time. We use oak, we use ash, and we also use rigid latex, like a really hard rubber for their faces, hands, and feet.
So come along, grab a funnel cake or turkey leg and experience a show like no other. Located in this small village at the McDonald's Amphitheater, just down the road from Big Tex.
Wow, Kent, this is truly an amazing piece of art. The puppets are so intricate. It's definitely a show people cannot miss here at the State Fair. But tell me, what is something you want our viewers to know about Fiesta De Marionettas?
Oh, that you can come and see Selena any day of the fair. We have 4 shows a day, beginning at 11 and ending at 5 or 6, depending upon if it's a weekday or a weekend.
Sounds good, guys. You have to come check it out.
So if you guys are heading out to the fair later in the week, you have some great choices for family entertainment. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Madison. You know, Andy, that looks like so much fun. I'll make sure to check that out at the fair. Speaking of which, are you going?
I mean, if there's no rain, I just might. But let's check in with our weather anchor, Jasmine Carrillo, to see if the sun will come out. Jasmine?
Well, Andrew, y'all are just in luck because we will get that rain out of here in no time. Looking at our current conditions across North Texas, as you can see, that rainfall did bring in cooler temperatures for you. We have Sulphur Springs sitting at the high of 86 right back here. And of course, Graham sitting with the low of 60, teetering in low to those 50s. Looking into our current conditions across the state, as you can see, kind of cooling off here in this area, but not so much for the other regions of Texas. Abilene is leading with the low of 62, and Houston is leading with the high of 89. Looking into your 7-day forecast here, as you can see, that rain will not be here for long. It'll be here into tomorrow, and that's just about it. Looking into their 7-day forecast, as you can see, we have clear skies and sunshines all the way through, with those temperatures right in the 70s. Back to y'all at the desk.
Next up, we have ntTV's Andrea Valdez is sprouting with positivity with a local food drive.
And food for thought? Stay tuned. I'll introduce you to Pineapple Man. When you think of growing vegetables, your first thought may be of plants growing in the dirt.
However, one organization is taking a different approach to growing food and giving back to others in need in the process. ntTV's Andrea Valdez has more on this week's Positively North Texas.
Thank you, Michaela. And you know, it's so interesting to see produce grown in a different way than we are used to seeing, and it's great to see how a group of people is using this method to grow food and distribute it to food banks and helping those in need, especially those that they have a close bond with.
After years of serving their country, these veterans are rolling up their sleeves and giving back to their brothers in need by helping to feed homeless veterans.
Having a little bit of an agricultural background, to me, the easiest, quickest way I can make a difference was to help feed homeless veterans.
Veterans Produce was founded in 2018 by T.C. Beckett and Kenny Smith, who served in the military themselves and wanted to meet a need that veteran resources tend to leave out.
People that help with mental health and PTSD and housing them and training them, but he didn't find anybody that was trying to help feed them.
Beckett recalls an encounter with a veteran experiencing homelessness, and at that moment he knew he needed to do something for not just the veteran named Tony, but for others under the same circumstances.
He had been staying at a shelter, and while he slept, somebody stole his money and his ID, so that left him out on the street. Well, that really bothered me. So I decided I had to do something about it.
Veterans Produce incorporates elements of hydroculture and aquaculture for an innovative and sustainable way to grow produce using water systems and aquatic life.
Aquaponics comes in whenever you combine growing fish or seafood or anything like that in the water, and then they produce the waste that produces the nutrients and everything for the plants.
Once the food is ready for distribution, it is taken to local food banks who provide food for veterans and others who are suffering from food insecurities.
But it's harvested, it's put in those toads, then we take it to the various different distribution centers to feed the veterans.
In the near future, Veterans Produce hopes to keep building greenhouses in other locations and to keep spreading their mission further.
By an extension of partnership, we can provide them with the information, and then they could build their own system. So in short, basically, I want to continue taking this model nationwide.
For more information on this organization, visit veteransproduce.org or visit their Facebook page by the same name. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Andrea. We know for most people, the state fair means having a great time. But for one Vietnamese man, it encapsulates the American dream in more ways than one. Here's what I mean. Plaza is known for its delicious treats, including its very own Pineapple Man, which may have a deeper story than you think.
It's about 10,000 pineapple per fair.
Ben Tran is the owner and operator of Pineapple Man, a one-of-a-kind food stand 22 years in the making.
Oh my God, when I saw it hit crazy. When we start, we cut by hand.
Now a state fair staple, Ben works the books while his brother works the counter.
I'd like to say that, I'm assistant to the Pineapple Man. Yes, sir, yes.
Ute is the youngest of 13 siblings and face of his brother's company.
It's not easy for Pineapple Man, but it's easy for me, yes.
But what is the Pineapple Man without a 22 coupon barrel-a-rita and the American dream manifested?
We have to escape by boat from communists in Vietnam at that time.
He came to the United States when he was 13 years old. Today, he operates over 3 pineapple stands across the DFW.
I am very proud to be my brother's business, yes, every day. Every time I get a chance to, yes, very proud.
Pineapple Man, living proof that the American dream is alive and well.
This is the place, I think, America.
Well, Andy, how about them boys?
Yeah, Michaela, it's been a great week for my hometown sports team, but I believe ntTV sports anchor Sebastian Nava has more.
Well, unfortunately, we won't be talking about the Cowboys after the break, but the Stars are dropping the puck tomorrow night, high schools are kicking off, and the Mavericks are tipping off. There's plenty to look forward to after the break. Tomorrow, the Dallas Stars drop the puck on a new season, hoping to return to the heights of the 2020 season. Dallas is coming off a disappointing season where they only finished with 60 points and missed the playoffs. It is a disappointing follow-up to a deep run the previous season where the Stars lost in the Stanley Cup Finals to the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Stars wrapped up preseason play Saturday night, losing to the Colorado Avalanche 4-2, but finished the preseason period with 3 wins, 2 losses, and 2 overtime losses. The Stars will be playing the New York Rangers tomorrow, a team who also only finished with 60 points and missed the playoffs. Puck drop will be tomorrow night at 6 p.m. from Madison Square Garden in New York. While the Stars are ready to begin their season, their arena roommates still have 2 preseason games left until the new NBA season tips off. The Mavericks' last game was on Friday night versus the Los Angeles Clippers. Luka Doncic only played 18 minutes and contributed 14 points, 8 rebounds, and 9 assists. But it was rookie Eugene Omoruyi who led the way for the Mavericks with 19 points as Dallas beat the Clippers 122-114. The Mavericks are currently playing reigning Rookie of the Year LaMelo Ball and the Charlotte Hornets in Charlotte for their penultimate preseason game before the season tips off next Thursday night in Atlanta versus Trae Young and the Hawks. With 4 weeks left in the high school football season, many teams are ramping up to make a final push toward the playoffs and district titles. Tomorrow night, the Denton Broncos will be playing host to the Frisco Reedy Lions. Denton is looking for a bounce back after getting trounced by Frisco Lone Stars 72-16, but are playing a well-rested Frisco Reedy coming off their bye week. Meanwhile, in McKinney, the Denton Braswell Bengals will be visiting the McKinney Boyd Broncos. Braswell is coming off a tough loss to Denton Guyer, and they are also looking to improve ball security after 3 interceptions and a pick-6 by Denton Guyer last week. On Friday night, we will see a true heavyweight matchup at the Collins Athletic Complex here in Denton. The 11th-ranked Allen Eagles are visiting Denton to take on the 4th-ranked Denton Guyer Wildcats. Guyer has rolled through the season, entering 7-0 behind UTSA commit Jace Wilson and 4-star QB Jackson Arnold. That's all I have for sports. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Sebastian. Well, we didn't hear about them Cowboys, but we did hear about a lot. I love when Sebastian tells us all these other sports, even locally.
Yes, locally, and they're all my hometown team. We got the Stars, we had the Mavericks, but no Cowboys. Maybe next week. Thanks for watching ntTV Nightly News.
Join us again tomorrow night at 6 here on North Texas Television.